Forget everything that you currently know about the Nike Structure series. Welcome to Running Shoes Guru. I'm Brandon, and today we're going to be reviewing the brand new Nike Structure 23. If someone were to ask how the Nike Structures of days gone by felt, the adjectives would be along the lines of firm, stiff, and stable. You see, the Nike Structure has never been a soft shoe. I've owned a number of Structure shoes over the years. I had the 18, the 20, and the 22. And I never really enjoyed the ride of the shoe because it felt so harsh. The Structure 23 is an excellent running shoe, and I really enjoyed it, even though most of it still remains clouded in mystery. It's only been released in a very few number of Asian countries, and Nike fails to mention what its midsole foam is made of, or what its standard size weight is. It's interesting that on Nike's website, the word stability is not mentioned anywhere in the Structure 23 description or in its product details. A lot of runners stay away from stability shoes because it usually means firm, heavy, and poking arch sensation. So how does the Structure 23 differ from previous versions of the Structure? And where does it fit into the Nike performance running range? When putting them on and walking around in them for the first time, my foot sank down into the soft foam, and I immediately knew that the Structure 23 is a completely different beast from other versions. When running in them for the first time, I understood why Nike refrained from categorizing them as a stability shoe. This is no more of a stability shoe than the Pegasus or the Vomero is, and the only thing that it shares in common with previous versions of the Structure is the name. My first run was about 15 kilometers at an easy pace, and the first thing that I noticed was how much cushion the midsole had. The level of cushioning was higher than most daily trainers and even a lot of max cushion trainers. It's for sure softer than the Glycerin and the Bondi. The other thing that surprised me is how neutral it felt. The Structure 23 rides like a stable, neutral shoe. The Structure 23 has more in common with the Vomero 11 than any previous Structure version. Nike has done the complete opposite of what they did to the Vomero 14. Instead of making it faster and firmer, they've made it slower and softer. Nike hasn't specified the name of the midsole foam, but on the midsole is written CMO 10. It could be a brand new foam, but to me it feels like the Lunarlon that was used on Vomero versions 10 to 13. The Structure 23 is a very soft shoe. It's softer than the Pegasus 37, the Miler, and the Vomero 14. And it's one of the softest Nike shoes you can buy in the current lineup. Stability is high, even though there's no firmer wedge or medial post. And this is down to two main reasons. The first is that your foot sits inside the midsole, and there are lateral railings which help keep your foot centered through transitions. And the second thing is that the midsole base is really wide, so your foot strikes feel planted no matter where you land. The medial side of the midsole is built up much more than the lateral side, so there's a noticeable level of underarch support, but without the poking sensation. The densities of the medial side and the lateral side are the same, but the wall of the medial side is higher. So inward rolling of the foot is prevented by making the medial side more cushioned than the lateral side. The high level of sink-in cushioning and the flexible forefoot means that it's really difficult to pick up the pace in the Structure 23. Anything faster than an easy pace is asking too much of it. It does, however, shine on long runs or recovery runs at relaxed paces. Distances from 15 kilometers up to marathon are in its wheelhouse. I love my Structure 23s for long weekend runs, and it serves the same purpose as my Triumph and my Clifton. Nike decided to go to town with all the rubber on the outsole of the Structure 23. It's got thick, hard-wearing rubber plastered across the entire outsole, with harder carbon rubber on the heel and softer blown rubber on the midfoot and the forefoot. It's also got a lateral crash railing to help absorb impact. The one defining theme of the Structure 23's upper is plushness. It's so plush and comfortable that it wouldn't look out of place on a Vomero. And it's actually very reminiscent of the Vomero 11, but without the flywire cables. Instead of flywire cables, there are soft mesh panels on the midfoot, which you can see through the perforations. I found the Structure 23 to be a really warm shoe. All this extra padding allows for sweat to be absorbed, so on long runs the shoe gets heavier. It's definitely suited to cooler climates. There's a hard internal heel counter which extends down into the midsole, and I found it really worked well in keeping my heel locked in place. One thing that I really didn't like were the thick reinforcements on the eyelets. These made the midfoot stiff and added unnecessary weight. The Structure 23 fits true to size and has a deep, spacious forefoot. I found it comfortable enough for long runs, but I found it really warm because of the inner sleeve and all the padding. The Structure 23 is the Structure series reimagined, and I really like the direction that Nike has gone in with it. Previous versions of the Structure felt as stiff and hard as a plank of wood, but the Structure 23 is actually fun to run in, even though it's less versatile. If you are looking for a shoe similar to the Structure 22, then you'll be bitterly disappointed with the Structure 23. The Structure 23 is Nike's version of the Ultra Boost ST, a high level of cushioning with a built-up medial side. The Structure 23 is no longer a traditional stability shoe with a firm ride and a harder medial post. While we wait for the Vomero 15, the Structure 23 is an excellent stand-in. It possesses all the long-distance comfort features that the Vomero versions had before the 14th version, such as a plush, well-fitting upper, a super durable outsole, and a soft midsole with deep cushioning. Thanks for watching our review. Please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe to the channel. You can also read our full written review on runningshoesguru.com.